Greetings, DFG here. Hey guys, I want to take a few minutes and talk to you about leadership concepts. In this case, concept number 5. And if you recall in previous videos, we talked about position leadership. We talked about leadership through permission. We talked about leadership through productivity. We talked about the importance of people development and leadership. And last but not least, in the levels of leadership I want to talk to you about is leadership. Pinnacle leadership is what it's called. I wish I could tell you I'm the first to coin these phrases. I'm not. That credit would have to go to Mr. John Maxwell. But I can give you my perspective on those same principles due to my grassroots experience in leadership. As many of you already are aware of, I've spent the last 25 years in retail leadership, working with tens of thousands of young men and women from every diversified group probably on the globe. I've had the opportunity to assist many in their careers, and I would say that it would not be an understatement to say, hundreds have had an opportunity to embrace some of these concepts that I've been able to teach and coach and really advance their careers. And in other cases, also to become better individuals inside of their communities. Again, to really make a difference through influence. And I would tell you that when you think of pinnacle leadership is a leadership that literally leaves a legacy. In essence, when you're long gone, your principles, those principles, are still being modeled and practiced by individuals that you have had the opportunity to influence. And I'll give you some examples of what I would consider pinnacle leaders. If you look over on my left-hand shoulder in that far corner back there, you'll see a picture of Abraham Lincoln. If you look right directly over my shoulder, you'll see Vince Lombardi, coach of Green Bay Packers. If you look above him, you'll see two very strong leaders in the African-American community, Malcolm X, Martin King. If you look over here, you'll see Union soldiers. For the most part, the 54th Massachusetts Cavalry, one of the first black Union cavalry of soldiers who fought to help bring the Union or help in the saving of the Union of the United States. And then in the middle, you'll see Harriet Tubman, with the Underground Railroad, another pinnacle leader. And then my favorite of all pinnacle leaders, my mother, Daisy Brinkley. So who are these individuals and why do I identify them as pinnacle leaders? Because they were confronted with having to make a decision around what it would take from themselves to make others be able to see all the potential that they have within themselves. And when you look at, for example, President Lincoln, big challenge, saving of the Union, preservation of the Union. Could have very easily folded his tents and said, we'll have two countries. But he knew that the country could never be as great as two countries, or great divided as they could ever be as one full nation. Harriet Tubman led thousands of blacks through the Underground Railroad, putting her life on the line day in, day out, going back making many trips just to liberate, her people. Again, Malcolm and Martin, both men gave their lives for their principles, things that they believed in. Malcolm especially because of a revolutionary, and I call him a positive revolutionary because this is the individual who really started off, as a small-time criminal, and evolved into, becoming a minister for an organization that, quite frankly, perpetuated bigotry. And later on, evolved into a minister who understood that racism had nothing to do with God, and racism had nothing to do with bias. It had everything to do with love. So several transformations in this man's life. Dr. Martin Luther King, I think we all know his story. Again, someone who ended a lot of segregation, discrimination throughout many states, southern United States, and to a lesser degree, the northern United States. But when I talk about Pinnacle leadership as it relates to individual, you can do the same thing. And what does that take? It takes self-sacrifice. It takes a willingness to put others before yourself. And so often in leadership, we're taught about self-preservation. We're taught it's all about me. What have you done for me lately? In Pinnacle leadership, it is what can I do for you, and what having I done for you to make sure that you can be the best that you can be. And every leader has it inside of them, that little light, that little flickering light, that flickering light that inspires them to really look deep into their own souls and understand that at the end of the day, your role, your true role, is the uplifting of all those individuals that you have been blessed with the opportunity to influence. In corporate America, these days, it's so dogmatic about the bottom line. Everything is about the bottom line. Everything's about profit. Everything is about how do we get a little bit more. And it's becoming to the place now where people are being looked upon as just mere vessels to elevate market share, to grow market share, elevate individuals and grow market share. How sad. And now we've taken the greatest natural resource that God has given man for man, and now we're treating that resource as just some irrelevant sidebar, what would be a good word? Step ladder to advance profit agenda. And I will tell you that, it's a surefire way for your organization or for any organization to fail long-term in doing that. True Pinnacle leadership, again, is taking the time. It's taking time to listen. It's taking time, to learn from the people you have the opportunity to influence. It's going out and peeling back ideas, and sourcing those ideas. I think about the late Sam Walton with Walmart. Having the opportunity to work for that organization several years ago, I read up on his autobiography. And one of the things that he talked about, or he said he learned more from individuals inside of his stores. I'm talking about cashier, door greeters, minimum wage individuals. He learned more from those individuals than he could have ever learned, dealing with the executive, community. And he was a genius in the sense that he understood that, people truly make a difference. And if you're willing to learn and listen, you unlock your organization's maximum potential. And I often say that, just to help you a little bit, leaders, I want you to think about something you may not have thought of before. When you think about individuals who are inside of your organizations, do they just work for your corporation? Is that all they do? Or do they have families? Do they have responsibilities in those families? Are they homeowners? Are they investors? Do they take care of the basic business needs of running a household? Think about what it takes to be able to do those things and do those things successfully. And many of them on marginal income. It's almost ingenious to be able to do it. And yet you have all of this talent right there in front of you that because you have your blinders on and you see yourself as big I and little you, that you don't realize that you have people running small businesses every day, their families, because it takes a business mind to take care of a household, their families. You got all these small business owners around you, and you don't even take the time not only say hello to them, but just say, hey, any ideas on what we could do to make this better? Pinnacle leadership is the individual who's smart enough, who has the compassion or compassionate enough, an individual who's insightful enough to take and put themselves in the background and allow the team to come up front, to put the team before themselves. So in essence, it's putting the we before the me. And if you're able to do that, and individuals who've done that, such as the Sam Waltons of the world and the many others that I've mentioned, including my mother there, who in my mind is a great woman, raised 8 kids by herself in one of the toughest housing projects in the United States on a mere wage, and kept us all safe, and kept us all provided for, and never lacked taking the time to demonstrate a heart of love and dedication to that family. Pinnacle leadership. And so I say to you, every leader out there, if you want to call yourself a leader, if you really want to leave a legacy, if you really want to live a life of significance, then I'm going to challenge you is, when is the last time you've gone and asked someone on your team for an idea? When is the last time have you gone out and empowered your team? When is the last time you've gone out and said, thank you, I appreciate you, great job? When is the last time that you said, you know what? I think your idea is better than my idea. Let's try it your way, see what happens. When you can do that, and you can create an environment where your team is willing to do that, then you are positioning yourself for pinnacle leadership, or leadership of significance. In essence, setting forth a legacy that will live long after your time on earth is complete. Not unlike these men and women that I've mentioned, and many, 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 many more that goes unmentioned, but we all know about them. History has recorded them. So you're given one opportunity as a leader. One. And that opportunity is today. Every single day you have an opportunity to walk inside of an organization. That's your one opportunity to leave a legacy. But remember, that legacy starts and ends with putting your people first. The late, great Sam Walton again left a quote inside that organization, said, people first, profit will follow. And I believe that is never have been a truer statement when it comes down to how to grow an organization, how to build a team of where people feel valued, where they feel like they can contribute, where they feel included, that they feel that their opinions matter, their voice matter, their work matters. And I will tell you that there is nothing that can stop an organization with a leader who thinks that way. So it's my goal. We'll see if I get there, but I'm going to give it my best effort. I hope you will too. Now you know, DFG, Gideonsflight.